You walked into that room, and the air shifted. It's not about the cut of your suit or the pedigree of your watch. It's a subtle current, an unspoken, primal understanding that you possess something rare. People turn, not because you're loud, but because your presence is a gravitational pull. Women, especially, feel it. They might not be able to articulate why, but something in your demeanor resonates deep within their ancient, biological hardwiring. This is not a trick. It's not a technique. It is the raw, unfiltered power of a man who is authentically, unequivocally himself. This is the ultimate secret, and it's been staring us in the face all along. We have been fed a profound lie, a pervasive, crippling myth that dictates our self-worth and structures our pursuit of external validation. The narrative is simple, and it appeals directly to our linear, masculine desire for quantifiable results. Achieve, acquire, conquer, and then, and only then, will you be worthy. You're told to build a titanium resume, sculpt a flawless physique, amass vast wealth, drive the aspirational machine, and wear the insignia of success. Society paints this picture of accomplishment, a checklist that, once completed, will supposedly unlock the keys to attraction and respect. So, men spend years, sometimes decades, tirelessly pursuing these external markers. They hit the gym with religious fervor. They grind away at careers that often drain their souls. They meticulously curate their social media presence, all in the hope that these achievements will somehow translate into the deep, passionate connection they crave. They are chasing a phantom, a promise whispered by marketers and cultural gatekeepers that never materializes into genuine, lasting connection. But then, a jarring, agonizing reality sets in. The six-figure salary, the toned physique, the enviable social circle, they don't guarantee the desired outcome. Women are polite, perhaps agreeable, but that elusive spark, that undeniable pull, is missing. They will go on dates, sure, but there's no chase, no fervent desire, no genuine emotional investment on her part. You find yourself perpetually initiating, always putting in the effort, while she remains emotionally distant, a polite but ultimately indifferent observer. You feel like a performer, constantly striving to justify your existence in her eyes, only to be met with a lukewarm response. It is frustrating, disheartening, and utterly confusing when you followed the prescribed blueprint to the letter. This emotional deficit, this failure to launch deep desire, cripples the soul of the externally successful man. He has won the war for status but lost the battle for genuine connection. Meanwhile, you look at your friend. He might live in a modest apartment, drive a clunky old car, and his career credentials might not impress anyone on paper. Yet, women gravitate towards him like moths to a flame. They become absolutely obsessed, texting him constantly, pursuing him aggressively, willing to do anything to keep his attention. They'll drop plans for him, go out of their way, and their eyes light up with an undeniable passion when he enters the room. You watch this unfold, bewildered, a knot forming in your gut. What does he have that you don't? What is this invisible quality that makes him so magnetic, while your meticulously constructed persona falls flat? The truth, the profound, unsettling truth, is that everything you've been taught about female attraction is not just wrong, but fundamentally backwards. The very things you believe make you attractive are often the same things that are subtly, yet effectively, killing women's desire for you. You have been building a glorious facade on a foundation of sand, and the feminine intuition, like the tide, senses the inherent instability. Before we can understand how women become addicted, we must first utterly destroy the biggest lie ever sold to men about attraction. This lie is insidious because it appeals to our logical, linear, masculine thinking. They have convinced you that female desire operates like a quantifiable equation. The tragically predictable outcome is that millions of men, diligently following this roadmap, spend years building themselves up externally, only to remain utterly unattractive to women. They focused on the hardware, the external casing, the wealth, the muscle, the resume, completely neglecting the internal software that truly drives connection. They believe they are selling a dream home, but they are only offering a glossy brochure for an empty lot. Here is the truth they don't want you to know. Women don't fall in love with your achievements. They fall in love with your internal state. They don't get addicted to what you have. They get addicted to who you are when the spotlight is off, when all the external props are removed. The most attractive quality a man can possess has absolutely nothing to do with his bank account, his physique, or his social status. It's something far more rare and infinitely more powerful: unshakable self-possession. Allow me to introduce you to a concept that will revolutionize your understanding. Sexual market value, SMV, is determined entirely by perception, and perception is controlled by your internal state. The mainstream view is that SMV is a tally of objective metrics. This is flawed. Women only develop a deep, consuming attraction when they perceive a man's SMV as significantly higher than their own. But this value is not your net worth. It is your energy. Imagine that bar scenario again. The multi-millionaire, draped in designer clothes, versus the broke guy in basic clothes. The millionaire is subtly scanning the room, perhaps adjusting his cufflink, waiting for a chance to impress. He is calculating his moment. The broke guy is simply present, enjoying the moment for its own sake. Someone makes a dull, predictable comment. The broke guy, without a hint of trying, delivers a perfectly timed, genuinely witty response. He says it with complete confidence, a playful smirk, and an undeniable authenticity that permeates the air. In that precise moment, every single woman in that group will feel a surge of attraction toward the broke guy, a sensation far more potent than anything the millionaire could evoke. Why? Because the broke guy just demonstrated a profoundly higher SMV through his internal state. He displayed effortless wit, unshakable confidence, and an authentic self-possession that trumped all the millionaire's external trappings. SMV is about energy, not inventory. This is the primal, deep-seated truth. A man who is master of his inner world is superior to a man who is merely master of his external possessions. Women operate on what I call the frame of value system. This is the unconscious, lightning-fast process by which they categorize and rank men. And it has precisely nothing to do with your resume. Her subconscious is reading your energy signature, asking, does this man know his own worth? Is he seeking my approval? Does he need me to validate him? Is he putting on a show? Within mere seconds, she places you into one of two immutable categories: above me or below me. The cruel, agonizing irony is that the men who try the hardest to impress women are the very ones who automatically place themselves in the below-me category. When you are overtly working to prove your worth, you are, by your very actions, communicating a profound lack of belief in your own inherent value. You're broadcasting the message, I need you to tell me I'm good enough. This is the kiss of death. Conversely, the man who doesn't try to impress, who is comfortable in his own skin, automatically signals higher value. He is effortlessly placed in the above-me category, and the intoxicating process of her addiction begins. To become the man women become addicted to, you must build your house on bedrock, not sand. This bedrock is internal validation, and it is the antidote to the societal lie. Nothing kills female attraction faster than a man seeking validation. When you implicitly or explicitly need her approval, her compliments, or her attention to feel good about yourself, you've entered the validation death spiral. This is the heartbreaking reality for so many men who appear successful on paper. They are, in essence, successful beggars. They have a lot to offer externally, but internally, they are still pleading for approval. They are like beautiful, expensive cars that cannot start without a jumpstart from an external source, in this case, her approval. The men who effortlessly create female addiction operate from the complete opposite mindset. They are self-validated. They know their worth without needing anyone else, especially a woman, to confirm it. They draw their value from an infinite internal wellspring, not a finite external bank. They can receive compliments without becoming attached to them, understanding they are simply reflections, not definitions. And crucially, they can receive criticism or disinterest without being emotionally destroyed by it. This level of self-validation is incredibly attractive because it is so rare. When a woman encounters someone who genuinely doesn't need her approval, who stands firm in his own intrinsic worth, it immediately elevates his status in her mind. It signals a profound strength, a rare quality that draws her in. Perhaps the single most powerful trait you can develop is non-reactivity. This means maintaining your stable emotional state, your inner equilibrium, regardless of what she says, what she does, or how she chooses to behave. A man who is needy is a reactive man. He is tossed by the slightest emotional wave she creates. His emotional state is entirely dictated by her behavior, making him a slave to her whims. The non-reactive man is different. His emotional state is internally governed. When you are consistently non-reactive, you demonstrate deep emotional stability, unshakable confidence, and abundance mentality. You signal that you are not desperate for her approval. Specifically, when you are consistently non-reactive, you subtly, yet powerfully, force her to work harder to elicit emotional responses from you. This creates investment on her part, emotional and energetic, and sustained investment inexorably leads to deep attachment and ultimately addiction. Non-reactivity is the ultimate feminine aphrodisiac because it provides the one thing women crave most in a man: emotional safety through strength. She realizes she can be vulnerable, she can be emotional, she can even be irrational, and his core will remain solid. This is the bedrock of trust and desire. Most men are mentally fragmented. They are either dwelling in the past, rumination, regret, or anxiously projecting into the future, planning, obsessing over outcomes. They are rarely, if ever, truly present with the woman they are talking to. Their minds are constantly racing with strategies and internal insecurity monitors. But when you can be fully present, truly listening, genuinely engaged, your attention solely focused on the unfolding interaction, you create a magnetic field. She feels seen, she feels heard, and she feels valued in a way that most men cannot provide. Groundedness is inherently magnetic to women because it is such a rare commodity in modern society. People are instinctively drawn to your stability, your quiet strength, and your profound internal peace. Women are attracted to how you make them feel. This image encapsulates the feeling you give her, a safe harbor in an unpredictable world. When your confidence is derived from external achievements, it is inherently fragile. But when your confidence stems from genuine self-acceptance and unshakable internal peace, it is magnetic and utterly unshakable. To truly master this, we must embrace the counterintuitive truths that separate the magnetic from the desperate. Here's a mind-bending truth. Most of your goals, your aspirations, and even your deepest insecurities aren't actually yours. They have been meticulously programmed into you by society, media, and pervasive social conditioning. Ask yourself, if no one could ever see your achievements, would you still pursue them? If the answer is no, you are still chasing a societal ghost. The men who truly create female addiction have broken free from this constructed reality. They live authentically, according to their own deeply held values. They pursue their own genuine interests, fueled by intrinsic passion, not external pressure. This level of radical authenticity is profoundly magnetic precisely because it is so incredibly rare in a world populated by programmed, conforming people. You become the original, and women are drawn to the original, not the carbon copy of an idealized consumerist man. Here is a controversial truth. When sex becomes your primary goal with women, you inherently give them all the power. If your happiness and self-worth depend intrinsically on whether a woman chooses to sleep with you, you have effectively made her the absolute gatekeeper of your emotional state. Women sense this desperation immediately, but when sex is not your primary focus, when you are simply present to enjoy the connection, you effortlessly maintain your power. This leads to the ultimate counterintuitive principle. Sometimes, the most attractive thing you can do is to say no to sex. When you possess the genuine ability to turn down sexual opportunities, perhaps because the connection isn't right or the energy is off, you demonstrate a profound level of abundance and self-control that most men utterly lack. Your non-attachment becomes an irresistible draw. The deepest, most powerful form of attraction occurs when masculine and feminine energies come together in perfect polarity. Masculine energy is defined by unwavering presence, clear direction, and strength. Feminine energy is flow, emotion, and receptivity. The challenge today is that many men have become reactive and validation-seeking, losing their masculine core. Thus, when a woman encounters a man who is truly, powerfully grounded in his authentic masculine energy, she can, for the first time in perhaps a long time, safely relax into her own feminine energy. This reestablishes the polarity that is the fundamental generator of deep attraction and lasting addiction. She is not drawn to your effort, she is drawn to your stable strength. You have the map. You profoundly understand that the secret to female addiction lies not in what you do, but in who you are at the core. Now, the final step is integration. This is not passive contemplation. This is the active, demanding work of reconstructing your inner world. It starts with a rigorous audit of your motivations. Look at everything you're currently pursuing and ask yourself with brutal honesty, am I doing this for me from a place of genuine desire, or am I doing this for others' approval, to gain validation, to feel worthy? You must replace extrinsic motivation with intrinsic motivation. This realignment of purpose is the first great act of self-validation. You start doing things because they define you, not because they market you. The ultimate secret to becoming utterly magnetic is the development of genuine internal peace. This means being completely, unconditionally okay with who you are, where you are in life, and what you currently have right now. This is the hardest step. This means you choose to grow and improve from a deep place of self-love, rather than from a pervasive sense of self-rejection. You are healing the core wound that made you seek external approval in the first place. When you achieve this profound internal peace, you spontaneously stop seeking validation. You don't need anyone else to complete you because you are already whole. You stop seeing women as solutions to your emotional problems and start seeing them as complements to your already complete life. To integrate presence and non-reactivity, you must commit to daily, difficult practices. Stop future-gazing and gently anchor yourself to the present moment. Practice active listening without the urge to interrupt or plan your response. Embrace emotional indifference when tested. Pause, breathe, and remind yourself, this is just an external stimulus. It does not dictate my internal state. This pause is where non-reactivity is born. This pause is the moment you reclaim your power. Before we conclude, I must issue a serious warning. The knowledge and principles I've shared are incredibly powerful, and with great power always comes great responsibility. Do not use this profound understanding to manipulate or harm women. Use this knowledge instead to become a better man, to foster genuine connection, and to build mutual attraction. The goal is not to control her, but to control yourself, which is the only thing you ever truly can control. The ultimate secret, the grand unifying theory to creating female addiction, is this: become so utterly comfortable, so deeply at peace, and so profoundly complete within yourself that you genuinely don't need anyone else to complete you. When you are truly self-sufficient emotionally, when you are authentically at peace with who you are at your core, when you are living your life genuinely according to your own intrinsic values, you become an unstoppable, undeniable magnet. The journey to this state is not a weekend workshop. It is a lifelong commitment. It requires the philosophical courage to face your own inadequacy and the stoic discipline to rebuild your sense of self from the ground up. But for the men who are willing to undertake this sacred inner journey, the rewards are truly extraordinary. You will not only attract the women you deeply desire, but more importantly, you will become the authentic, powerful man you have always wanted to be.